Dig, dog. Dig, dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the one and only Radical Race LLC podcast. I'm one of your hosts,
And I'm the other host,
Chris Davidson.
and Adam Hartshorn. Let me turn this metronome off. That looks annoying.
Wait, where's the metronome?
Right there.
Oh.
All right, back. Yep, we don't like that.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening.
My name is Chris Davidson.
No,
I'm
you
one
already
of the
said that.
founders of Radical Race LLC.
True.
Adam is also founder.
I am. So, Chris, tell me about yourself. Who
Yeah.
are you?
For the third time.
No. I don't
Chris
like name. I don't
Davidson.
like name. But what's your backstory here?
Yeah.
What do you do for work?
I work for a company called iFit. I'm an exercise programmer for them. And yeah, living in Provo, Utah. Living the bachelor life. 27 years old.
He's single, ladies.
Single.
Jacked.
Ready to mingle.
Jacked out of his mind.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
Everybody needs to know that.
Adam, what about yourself?
So I am also living in Provo, Chris's friend. I sometimes have lived on his couch because he's a kind person. But
That's
I'm
true.
a physical therapist, just doing some part-time work with that, and then building a physical therapy clinic here in Provo as well. So, but we're not here to talk about our careers. Chris, the people want to know, where did Radical Races come from? I think they want to know that. We're going to tell them either way.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a young lad named Chris Davidson and Adam Hartshorn. Actually, this was 2 years ago.
2 years ago is when we started, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Should we go all the way back though?
Okay, so before we start that, I actually would like to know, because you are an endurance athlete, I would say. I would describe you that way.
I don't know if I could be considered an athlete yet, but yes, I like endurance events.
Yeah, you like it. So, and you do a lot of endurance events.
Yeah.
I think most people, well, either way, no matter definitions aside,
Right.
you enjoy endurance events.
Yes.
But when did you get started in that type of stuff? When did you start like doing running, biking, whatever, and when did you start enjoying the process of pushing yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I've been in sports since I was like 6, I believe. I started with gymnastics, competed competitively in that.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, just did sports all growing up. Played outside a lot. My parents, like, punishment for me as a kid was, you can't go outside today.
Which
And
is
that-
funny because that's the opposite of like what most parents do.
Right.
They're like, go outside, get out of here.
Exactly. So that was like, I would cry because of that. Anyways, thinking back, I think this is the first time when I felt that I think I started kind of this push yourself to the limits
Okay.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was high school, and I think it was freshman or sophomore year, I believe. And I told myself, I'm gonna run a half marathon. There's actually a bigger story behind this, but I was trying
actually,
to get,
I think I know this story.
I was
What's
trying
this?
to get someone to read a book, and they said, I'm not gonna read that book.
Right.
And I said, okay, what if I ran a half marathon?
Because that's the natural thing. Like,
right,
yeah.
right. I said,
Like-
what if I ran a half marathon? Would you read the book? And they just didn't believe that I could do it. And so the very next day, I woke up, I told my mom, I'm gonna go run a half marathon. And she said, you have to train for stuff like that, son. And I said, no you don't. And I slipped my shoes on, I went out the door, I ran, this was in Florida, down the highway, to the beach, pooped,
Good.
ran back, got like back to my house area, and I still had like a mile and a half left, and I ran around the neighborhood until I completed that 13.1 miles.
Was your mom worried?
My mom drove after me down the highway to make sure I wasn't dead or passed out.
Honestly, that's a good mom.
It was a great mom.
No,
Like,
yeah.
I love my mom.
I love your mom too. She's
Yeah, like that was, I think, the start of it, and that's when it like unlocked something in my brain. Like, I don't have to train for stuff like this to do it.
Well,
Like I was a like fit kid.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. You played soccer, and like you said, you've been in sports your
Yeah.
whole life.
My knees were wrecked after that.
But yeah. So
Yeah.
I think there's
there is training.
obviously a benefit from training,
Yeah.
but it is crazy to think like you said, it unlocks a space in your mind where you're like, whoa, I'm capable of this.
Right.
And I've been capable of this
Yeah.
all along.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I think that's like the origin story of Chris and why does he do this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
What about you? I don't know if
So,
I know this story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we've ever chatted about this. I have always enjoyed moving. Like, same deal. Like, I've always been an active kid. I would climb on things that I wasn't supposed to, and I got in trouble for climbing on stuff all the time. Like,
Tell me something you got in trouble for
like,
climbing on.
I would climb trees, and people would be like, "Get down from there." But I would also like climb on buildings or like tables. So like when you're a small enough child,
Right.
tables are a challenge to climb onto.
Totally get that. Still have a hard time getting on.
Yeah, for the vertically challenged of us.
5'5", just to let you guys know.
Wait, how tall are you?
5'5".
You're 5'5"?
Yeah.
I keep thinking 5'7".
I wish I was 5'7".
You stand, your spirit stands
My
taller.
spirit stands tall. Yeah.
Something like that.
Adam's 6'5".
Exactly, and 250 pounds of muscle. For
Straight
those of you
beef.
listening on the podcast, not watching.
And he's single, ladies. All right.
Anyways, yeah, I was a super active kid, and I remember. So the first time I really remember like pushing myself was in 5th grade. We had this challenge where we were supposed to read books, and when you read a certain amount of pages, you would get like a little plastic necklace that could go on like a chain, and it was just a plastic book. And I had like tons of these because I was a real big nerd. So through that competition, I got loads of these plastic little book necklace pieces. I guess they were kind of a bead or something. But then they switched it up and they're like, okay, we're gonna do the same thing but for running. And at that point, I was already like, okay, I like really dig just being the best in my class
Right.
at getting these necklace things.
Yeah.
So I decided, and it was one of those things where if you went outside at recess, if you ran a lap, then you would get one of these. Or I think it was like every mile you ran or something.
Huh.
And so like every recess after that, I just would like run around, and I was in like jeans. And
That hasn't changed much, people. Like,
no, yeah,
I still do that.
Chris makes fun of me because I exercise all the time in jeans, not intentionally. It's just I see something and I'm like, whoa, I gotta go do that. But I'm in like normal, just street clothes. Anyways, I ended up like doing this every recess, and I got tons of those, and I enjoy something kind of like you said, something unlocked in my head. I was like, whoa, like I can run pretty far.
Right.
And I enjoy, there's like a mental solitude. I don't know if that sounds too cheesy, but just it's like a clarity of mind, or just like something about the process of running was enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how to describe it.
The dopamine high.
The dopamine high.
Yeah.
I was
You unlocked
addicted
it as a kid.
even then.
Right.
And now I can't
So
stop.
that was your first experience.
That was my first experience, and then since then, I remember in school we would have like the pacer. We had to do that, or we would like do mile challenges. And ever since then, I kind of considered myself like an okay runner, and so I would like really push myself to try to do things during these challenges. I would like time my mile. I never actually did sports in high school.
Yeah, which is like a little surprising to me, but
Because I'm not that coordinated, but I'm pretty fit.
yeah.
So I've always enjoyed.
You were hitting the books more while I was hitting the
soccer balls.
sporties.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of a. If I could go back, I would do sports.
Yeah.
But
I think it's important, but that's
Yeah.
another subject.
yeah, I just never really took the opportunity. I was doing other stuff in
Yeah.
school.
But you were active.
And I was active, and I enjoyed running. And from time to time, I would throw my shoes on and just like go for a run.
Right.
But the thing that I loved the most was hiking, and my family was not into hiking. And so whenever I had the opportunity to do that, I would be like, yeah, let's go for a hike. It doesn't matter. Like, just take me, because at that point in my life, I hadn't fully discovered that like you can go hiking by yourself.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, that's kind of my origin story.
That's cool. Well, then what happened? Like, so I guess give a little more backstory.
Yeah.
So I came out to BYU, and it was freshman year for me.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting down in a class, chronic disease and prevention.
Chronic disease prevention.
With Ron Hager.
Yeah.
Dr. Ron Hager. Shout out to Dr. Ron Hager. Great guy.
Good man.
Pretty corny jokes, but
dry lecture.
Yeah. Still got through it, and I learned a lot in that class.
Yeah, actually life changing, I would say. So
definitely. I still read the book.
Yeah. Yeah, actually I got my book right up there on the shelf.
Yeah, what's the title of it again?
The Culprit and the Cure.
The Culprit and the Cure.
Yeah, so this was an impactful class for Chris and I, and if you haven't guessed, Chris and I both were in the class.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was sitting there. Oh, your Mac's about to die. We should plug that in.
Oh, freak. Okay.
Dramatic pause.
Pregnant.
Yeah, I'll just keep going.
Yeah, you go.
So there we were in the class. I sit down, and Adam comes rolling in with his longboard. Takes a seat. Adam, I actually have a charger. Or I guess your charger's different.
Yes, it's right here.
Anyways, he takes a seat by me, and class has started already, so we're both paying attention. In the middle of class, Adam pulls out a bell pepper, and he just munches it like an apple. And at that point, I was like, all right, this dude and I, we're going to be best buds. And honestly, like, from then on, that summer, we actually moved into the same complex, not knowing it, but then we were neighbors. And I just remember Adam, one day he comes over and he says, hey, you want to go lunge a mile? And I think my jaw probably dropped to the floor a little bit. I was like, what? Because I'd never done anything like that before. But the challenge was there. And so we said, yeah, let's do it. And I think it was the next day, Saturday, we lunged a mile with our buddy Jacob Jesperson. Shout out to Jacob.
Jacob.
But yeah, that was a doozy. And at that point is when Adam and I just, I think, probably every month since then, there's been a new challenge.
Yeah, we were addicted.
Yeah.
Keep
Straight addicted. I'll keep talking. Anyways, I'm just going to give a little breakdown of Adam's house here. He's living with the Padres. He's in the upstairs. It's a nice area. He's got a futon. He's got a laundry basket. Some paintings. Adam's quite the Bob Ross aficionado. Let's see, we got a uke back here. There's a nice little bike in case you ever want to go biking. What else? The walls are pretty nice. It's funny because this is actually the old roof where we're at right now, which is kind of nuts to think about. This house was renovated quite a while ago. I'm gonna keep talking because I'm not sure where Adonis went. Dr. Adam Hartshorn, if you guys, I don't know if he said this, but Adam graduated from the U in physical therapy. I graduated from BYU in exercise science. Didn't want to take the route of debt, and so I did not go to PT school. Instead, I've been currently working for iFit. Great company, shout out to them. And let's see, what else? I like long walks on the beach. I grew up in Florida. That is where I consider my home base. My dad was in the Air Force, and so we moved around quite a bit. What's going on, Adam? Did you find it?
Found it.
Oh, perfect.
It took forever.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep talking here. We might have to cut this section out because it's just me blabbering on by myself about your house.
What are you talking about?
Well, I talked about how you went to PT school.
Oh, yeah.
And how I did not go to PT school.
Key piece of the puzzle.
Boom. We're locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded.
Anyways, we kind of ended with the lunge a mile, and from that point on, like every month, we've been doing something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe not every month, but
No,
I'd say on average.
No, I remember there was a point at which I was like, oh, Chris will do these crazy things with me. Because somewhere in high school, I decided, like, I'm going to lunge a mile. And it was hard, but it was kind of fun. And I had these beefy frog legs after that. And so, but I realized, like, Chris is not afraid to do crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
So, what are some of the challenges we've, like, tried to put each other through?
Tread a mile, or tread for an hour.
Tread water.
Yeah, tread water for an hour.
That was a crazy one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like some of the originals.
Some of the the lunge a mile was probably the first one. I didn't realize that until just now.
Yeah,
that was a bonding
numero
moment.
uno.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else did we do? Like shortly after that.
There was.
We went mountain biking a few times.
Yeah,
but nothing crazy.
For sure, there was mountain biking. Okay, you broke your face one time. The first time I was trying to get Chris into mountain biking. And I was like, it's so fun, man. Like, come do it. He bought a bike, put it together, and then we went to this little downhill course in Provo. It's Lake Canyon.
Yeah.
And there was a tabletop jump, and he was coming. He got like.
So we had done the route about 6, 7, 8 times probably. And it's like we both said, all right, last one, then we'll go home.
Yeah, it's always on the last one.
And so obviously in my mind, I'm like, we're gonna send this.
Yeah.
Anyways,
you're going for maximum air.
I was going for max 3 feet of air. Right?
Yeah, and I think you got like several feet of air. It was like at least
felt like
2.
it. Yeah.
I think it was at least 2.
R. Kelly was singing in my head.
I believe I can fly. Yeah. But you came down and the tire got turned.
Yeah, so the back wheel came out, and I just wasn't used to jumping a bike. And so I came down and I was just landed sideways basically.
Smacked your face.
Went over the front.
Ooh!
Smacked the schnooter on the ground.
I'm getting a concussion just thinking about it.
And I turn around and Adam's laughing his head off.
That's my coping mechanism is I laugh when I see people get injured, which is not good as a medical professional, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, it's not the best. But yeah, I just knew I had a concussion and I wanted to go home.
Yeah.
So I just told Adam, get the car.
Take me home.
Take me home.
Yeah, so that was one. But then after that, we mountain biked quite a bit. I'm trying to think. We did, I don't know, we talked about like different challenges. Freak, what did we do?
I'm trying to think of like.
There was a lot of challenges. I know we biked to Lehigh.
We biked to Lehigh.
So it was like, how many miles was it?
The Lehigh ride?
Was it like 60 total?
I think it was 50.
50?
Yeah.
But it was...
Or maybe 70. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was between like, let's say 40 and 70.
Yeah, but that doesn't sound like a lot of mileage for the ultra endurance athletes, but it was a lot of vertical.
Yeah, across the bottom of the shoreline.
Yeah, it was a lot of up and down, and then it was just mountain biking in general on loose, like rocks and loose dirt, and so it was pretty excruciating. Also, for some reason, everything we do is in the middle of summer.
It's hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer, and we love it.
I think that was part of the summer of events that led up to the near-death race.
That's true.
So let's go over those.
Yeah.
So COVID hits.
Yes.
And there's nothing to do except go nuts with your best dude.
Yeah. We just like did everything outside we could possibly think of.
Yeah. Bike to Lehigh.
We biked to Lehigh on that 50-mile bike ride. We did this crazy mountain biking thing that was like, it was again like 60 miles total.
Yeah, I think that was 50.
That was 50 total. But it was
that's a future race coming up.
Yeah, this is something we want to base a race off of.
Yeah, well, we biked from Squaw Peak Road up around over to Hobble Creek.
Yeah, which is just some mountains in Utah, but it was so climby.
Didn't have any gear.
Didn't have water.
No water.
We get to the top, and I'm like dying of thirst. Like, okay, this is it. Like, ride my wheel, Chris, take it home. Actually, you were bonked. I
was done.
You just ran out of energy on that last climb.
Yeah.
And we got to the top, and we didn't have any water, no food.
Luckily, some dude, Angel, sent from heaven
Yeah.
sees us and is like, "You boys need some water?"
Because we were like
Dead.
we were like 30 miles from anywhere. No
Yeah.
matter which direction we go,
Right.
like we were miles, hours away from anything up in the mountains.
One guy with an ATV just blessed us with a nice cold bottle of water. I'm pretty sure it was like from Tuck Everlasting. Just the water well that saves everyone and makes you live forever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that happens. We get that bit of water, and then we have like another, I think it was like 20 miles left.
Yeah. And
Luckily, it was mostly downhill.
It was all downhill, but it was not nice.
Did not help at all.
Yeah.
Veins were like busting out my skull.
Yeah,
I was just so done.
Chris when he exercises, he gets super veiny. But when we got to the bottom, Chris was like dead to the world. He had to go to such a dark place in order to like get down off that mountain.
Yeah.
I've never seen him like that ever since. Not before or since.
I've learned.
But there was a Little Caesars pizza at the bottom, at the mouth of Hobble Creek Canyon when we came out, and we'd just gone on this like 50-mile just saga.
I was ready to die,
and he was like, "I'm gonna die underneath this tree."
I'm just sitting under a tree.
So we buy. There's like a gas station there. We buy some Gatorade, and then we bought like 2 pizzas, one for each of us.
Yeah.
We sit under this tree next to the road. There's like buses and trucks just passing us and like exhaust everywhere from the road. But we're so happy.
I'm oblivious to all of it.
As soon as I munched on the first piece of pizza, I was like, wow. I could feel the energy coming back, and
I still wanted to die at least halfway through the pizza. But as soon as I finished that pizza, like another 5 minutes of just sitting under this tree. We had like less than 2 miles back to our place.
Yeah.
But at that point, leaving the tree and getting back on the bike, I was ready to go again.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you saying like, "Woo, I'm doing great. Like, let's go ride it again. Let's go the other way.
Let's take it back."
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, that was another event.
That was a crazy one. We did my birthday party, which was fun. I didn't tell Chris that it was my birthday, but
I'm such a good friend.
No, it's okay. I don't even know when Chris's birthday is. But what we had done is we decided we were going to bike from the city up to a mountain trailhead, which was like 40 miles away. No, it was like 20 miles. So it was like 40 both ways. And then there was this mountain called Mount Timpanogos, and we were going to hike up to the top. What I wanted to do is do like a little Ironman thing where we swim in the lake at the top. But we just biked to it and then hiked up, came back down, biked back.
Dead to the world after that as well.
That was pretty gnarly. What I love about that though is I love being able to look at a mountain and like saying, I'm not even going to drive to that. I'm going to bike to that. I'm going to start right here.
Yeah, that was a good birthday party.
What else did we do? We did Cascade.
Oh, yeah, hiked up the Cascade.
We hiked up several different mountains.
Yeah. But then, like, the real event happened.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, Adam, let's run some sandbags."
Well, what had happened, I think, if I recall correctly, is we had been just like kind of building off each other, and we were just trying to challenge each other with these things.
Yeah.
And one day,
still like COVID, we're kind of bored.
Yeah.
Just trying to come to.
Oh, we found the route.
Remember we hiked the log up?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's where we're going.
So we found this route that we really liked that was next to Chris's house, and we called it Death Row, just because it's straight up.
Yeah.
And it's super sandy and hard.
Like running maybe takes you 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty short, but it's so steep.
Yeah. I think it's like 600 feet of climbing.
Yeah.
Like within less than a mile.
Less than a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like half a mile maybe.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Anyways, and so I create this idea. We're going to hike these logs up, which the logs probably weighed like 50 pounds.
Yeah, they were beefy logs.
Like spiky too.
I know. Oh, yeah, that was awful actually. I took my shirt off and I had like imprints from the log.
I left my shirt on because I knew
that was
the
smart.
spikes would have hurt. But anyways, then we drop the logs at the top. We run across the Bonneville Shoreline Trail in Provo.
Several miles, right?
Less than that.
Or a mile.
bottom of the Y. Yeah, so probably maybe half a mile or so.
For those who aren't familiar.
And then we go up Y Mountain, which the beginning portion of that is steep as well.
It's about 1,000-foot climb in a mile.
And then you go all the way up to the backside. And then we ran back down.
The top is like, what, 10,000? No, it's not even.
No,
it's like 8,000
I think it's around 8,000. Yeah.
So we had gained several thousand feet of elevation, and it's like 3 miles.
Yeah, 4.
3 or 4, and then 4 down, something like that.
I think so, yeah. Something around there.
So I mean, it's a beefy climb. We had just carried these massive logs.
Yeah. So now we're like, coming down the mountain, quads are trashed.
Yeah.
We jump on our bike all the way to Utah Lake, which is about 10 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And then we bike back. And then we were planning on treading water for
an hour afterwards. Because we were just like, we're gonna. Oh no! What had happened is we had watched the amazing. What is it? The Amazon.
The Eco Challenge.
Eco Challenge. We had watched the Amazon's Prime show on the Eco Challenge.
And so we
were trying to train for it.
Aspirations of trying to get on that.
Yeah, we were like, this is
we got to create our team and.
Yeah. Because we both like those physical challenges.
Yeah.
And the kind of endurance aspect of different things.
Right. So yeah, then we didn't tread the water, but we got back pretty late and just passed out. But
I was tired. I think
carrying the log gave me an idea.
Well, ever since then, we would go to work out, and instead of running that death row as we called it, we would find a log and just carry it up there.
I think we only did it once though.
Didn't we do that a few times?
I'm pretty sure I only did it once.
I did it a few times.
Oh yeah, we did carry it one more time.
Yeah.
I do remember once.
There were several times.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyways, yeah, I'm trying to recall
the process.
The actual...
But yeah, it gave you the idea of what if we just get a sandbag.
And we run it across the Bonneville shoreline.
It's, from Slate Canyon to Provo Canyon is 2.8 miles.
Yep, 2.86.
And there's how much elevation? 1,300
feet
of elevation.
Yeah.
Gain and loss, I think about.
And so I go on to KSL, which is basically Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, type of thing.
And I look up sandbags for free. I go grab 4 sandbags.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a Friday night, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was.
I said, Adam, we're about to race each other.
That was scary.
The Bonneville.
That was scary. So I went first, and Chris gave me 5 minutes.
It's a 50-pound sandbag.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 pounds for Adam, 50 pounds for myself.
Which is crazy, because when you put that on your shoulder, 50 pounds doesn't sound that much, but 50 pounds, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to run through the mountains with this.
Right. Well, it's pounding on your shoulder.
It's pounding, and your traps are screaming for mercy.
Yeah.
But how much time did you give me ahead of you?
So I gave you 2 or 5 minutes. I think it was 2 minutes.
I think it might be 2.
Yeah.
So everyone knows that Chris is faster and more fit and better looking than me.
No.
But
no.
But and so he gave me a little bit of a head start because we wanted to race each other. So so I start. I'm 2 minutes ahead. I go around the mountain corner and I look back, and he's just starting his thing. He's starting his run, and I'm a little bit scared. I felt like a fox who was getting chased by the bloodhounds.
And I'm feeling hyped right now because there's nothing more satisfying than chasing someone down.
Yeah, it was an adrenaline rush for sure.
So yeah, he has 2-minute head start, and he starts hauling the sandbag. And I'm thinking the whole time, dude, I don't know if I'm going to catch him. Because 2 minutes, it's hard to tell how far ahead he was because there's hills and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'd lose sight of him, and then every now and again I'd see him crest the hill and be like, there he is. But he looks so far away.
Yeah, and I was trying to take souls. Shout out David Goggins. I was just trying to stay always out of his sight.
Yeah.
I was thinking okay, I just gotta push it so I'm out of his sight so he loses hope.
Right.
And got to the other side, dropped the sandbag. I was like, woo! I feel light as a feather.
You feel great.
Started puffing it back up, and you were right there.
That's when I saw oh, I got this guy.
Yeah. Because the thing was, you have to take it all the way from Slate Canyon to Provo Canyon, then you're going back the same way you came.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, he was hot on my heels the whole time. And
I remember at one point, so Adam had passed me, and it was probably like, he probably still had a good couple 100 feet on me.
Yeah.
Or more. But I knew, like, so I dropped the bag, and I'm feeling, like, wasted after that.
Yeah.
And so I, like, start walking a little bit. I was like, dude, I just need to catch my breath. Like, just kind of loosen up my shoulders. And anyways, and there's these 3 huge climbs. They call it the 3 bears, we learned later on. And they're just steep. And so now we're coming up the backside of them. And I just walked that first one. I was like, dude, I'm not even going to run this. Like, my legs are shot. And so we come up that first one, and I see Adam. And that's when, like, the inner tiger lion comes
the
out.
Predator.
Yeah. I say, that guy's mine. And so I start running, and I can't remember what I screamed, but I said, I'm coming for you, or something along those lines.
Yeah, that had me mentally. It had me mentally in the state of a scared rabbit.
Right.
I'm not the best, like, trail runner. Like, I'm getting better over the years.
Yeah, definitely.
I have some hip issues that I deal with. But yeah, it was just pure adrenaline. Like, I wasn't feeling any pain. I was just like, I gotta get out of here. But you caught me eventually.
Yeah, I caught you eventually.
Right at the end, actually.
Yeah, it was towards the end.
Because I would hear you behind me, and then I'd be like, oh, I gotta pick up the pace.
Gotta pick up the pace.
Yeah, so I was just like kind of doing like negative splits for the last like, a little bit. But
track days came out in me, and I was like, nope, I'm honing in now.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Anyways, and so we finished the race, and both of us are just on a high. Just wow, that was something else.
Go eat a burrito from Beto's.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we went and ate a burrito and
called everybody, and we're like, we just did the coolest thing.
But then that's like next day. I remember waking up, and I was like, we gotta have an event.
We gotta make this a race.
We gotta make this a race.
And we had been thinking about doing races because we were like, man, we come up with these crazy challenges all the time.
And we know there's other people out there that want to do this stuff. I mean, you have people who do Spartan races, mud races, you know, these long endurance events, the eco challenge. And so all of this was just building up to this idea of, what if we start our own race group?
Yeah. So I can't remember at what point we were like, yeah, we're going to do this. But I think Chris decided, like, well, Chris actually did a lot of the initiative. He did most of it himself. He, I think, signed up for an LLC, and then he also put in the, what's it called, the, to the city, you have to put in, like,
you got to put in some permits.
Yeah, that type of stuff. So we kind of had it lined up.
And so this was back in March, I believe.
No, it was October. It was almost October of 2020.
So that's when we held the first one, but March is when we like started getting everything together to hold our first event.
No, because we had like 2 weeks. Do you remember?
Well, March is when we kind of started. I'm pretty sure.
No.
Like the idea and everything, and then summer hit.
I don't know. I think your timeline's slightly off, but it doesn't really matter.
Okay, maybe it's July.
It was like late because
I remember we run it the first time.
It was
getting
at least August because I was already working at Utah Valley Hospital. This was a clinical rotation for me in physical therapy school, which I was finishing up at the time.
Yeah, so maybe it was August.
So it all kind of happened pretty fast actually, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So we had the idea, we ran the race. And we're like, this is going to be a perfect race. And then you signed up for it, and we were kind of waiting to hear back from permits. And then we finally heard back
2 weeks prior to our
2 weeks prior to when we said we were going to do it. We weren't very experienced race
coordinators, directors.
Yeah. So we didn't have very much time to do it. So Chris and I are just going around town like saying, hey, we're doing this race. You want to come do it with us?
Right. And we have the agenda. We're going to give $1,000 to the top male and top female contestants.
Yeah.
And so we're like,
which was so ambitious. In
very ambitious.
Like crazy ambitious.
I was ready to just throw some money at it.
Yeah.
And so we were able to get 20 people. We only knew one of them, maybe two. We knew 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
2
we
or
knew
3
a
of the
few.
participants.
Yeah, but not very many.
Yeah, within 2 weeks, we got 20 people to sign up to run a sandbag across the Bonneville shoreline and back.
Heavy duty.
Yeah.
Very difficult task. The race went great, I thought.
Yeah, I think the first one, it kind of gave us the fire that we needed.
Yeah. So we called it the near-death race, but there's several reasons for that. One was because it's just an
It's hard.
excruciating thing. But what's the other reason, Chris?
Yeah, so, we're giving it out. Part of the proceeds are going to the Equal Justice Initiative, which is an initiative to help those who are wrongfully incarcerated and on death row.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of plays with that idea of these individuals being on death row.
Yeah.
And just how hard that can be for them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, Chris. Nobody knows this in the internet world, but Chris is an extraordinarily good-hearted person, and he frequently will just give money to people or buy people stuff just because it makes him feel good. He's one of those rare humans that are just genuinely good-hearted. And this race idea, part of it that's always been important to him and me too, but I think Chris has been kind of spearheading this aspect, is making sure that these races are contributing to the world in a positive way. So that's something that we've incorporated with our races since then too, is we've said like part of the proceeds are going to go to this cause. So for the near-death race, it's the Equal Justice Initiative.
Yeah.
And then other races, we have other things.
But yeah, I would say that's like the origin story. So that first time we donated $800.
Yeah, which was a big deal. We had to spend a lot of our registration fees to make the prize for the winners. But
yeah. But it was a good time. Everyone enjoyed it, and
yeah.
Now we recently had this past summer, June.
Yeah, we introduced a new race.
Well, June we had our second near-death race.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the origin of Radical Races.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Yeah. And now we have a lot more events coming up.
Yeah, so what are the events? We have the near-death race, which is an annual event. It happens, currently it's going to happen in May
21st.
Yeah, we're trying to make
2022.
the month.
Yeah. May 21st, 2022. This last year we introduced a new race. It was Not Your Grandma's Marathon. Really happy about that name.
Yeah, Chris named it.
I was pretty stoked about that one.
I think it was initially my idea to do, because I like this trail that goes up Cascade.
Yeah.
So what it is it's a marathon through the mountains, and it's 8,500 feet of elevation gain.
8,500 feet. Yep.
You go up a mountain, down the backside, then you do it opposite. You go up the mountain and down the front side.
26.2 miles.
Beefy.
One of the world's hardest marathons.
I believe that's true.
But, yeah. And so we had 13 participants.
We had 40 people signed up for it.
It was a free event.
But it was free, and so I think a lot of people didn't have skin in the game. They're like, I don't really want to wreck myself on this course.
But it was a good time. 3 people dropped out because it was too difficult for them.
It's beefy.
Cameron Haynes, David Goggins, we're coming for you.
Come. Participate.
Run it. Not Your Grandma's Marathon.
I need some course records set.
August 27th or 29th of next year is when Not Your Grandma's is going down.
I believe it's the 29th.
I think it's the 29th.
Yeah. So on all of those races, registration is open now. So go hit it, guys.
Go sign up.
If you've made it this far in the podcast.
Right. www.radicalraces.com. You can follow us at Run Radical Races on Instagram. Radical Races LLC Facebook page. We're pretty poor at the social media thing. If you want to sponsor an event, please reach out to us.
We are looking for sponsors, and this is obviously a growing company. We've had a lot of good feedback from people. A lot of people really love these. Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, it's been a great experience.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to do great things this next year. So the other race that we have coming up is the Pi K, which
the Pi K.
I'm also very proud of.
Yeah.
That That's been my
The
idea.
old nog of Adam Hartshorn here, all those books he read as a kid, has
Exactly.
really created this solid brain.
The coconut.
The coconut.
But this is, so it's pi is a number, 3.14 miles.
Really?
3.14, you know, is the
Yeah.
number of pi. It has to do with the radius of a circle. It is the amount of, I won't explain what it is, it's math. But it's a number that has to do with geometry. Regardless.
Just a little side bit if you didn't know that.
Yeah, for those of you who didn't go to high school.
Ever seen the pi symbol?
Yeah, no, anyway, everybody knows what pi is.
And Salt Lake,
Why did I say
Sugar
that?
House Park.
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing 3.14 kilometers, because I thought that was just like a clever name.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be on or near Pi Day, so which is March 14th for those of you who aren't math nerds. But yeah, it's just gonna be kind of a 5K-ish feel, and that one is, most of our races are like super intense, but this one will be a little bit more open to the general public. People who maybe even haven't trained can come do it, just walk it. It'll be a fun run type thing.
Yeah, the proceeds from that race will go towards the Salt Lake Education Fund.
Yeah.
Which would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
What was it? Though I think we're gonna try and throw in a competitive portion to that race.
Yeah.
Still trying to fill that out. We've got a board meeting with Sugar House Park this next month.
It's 1.86 miles.
1.98.
1.98.
Or 1.95, sorry.
Yeah, something like that. It's almost 2, so it's a pretty quick race.
We're not very good with the numbers. Another race that we're introducing next year, it's the same day as the near-death race.
Oh, right. I forgot to talk about this.
This is known as the Weenie Race.
The Weenie Run.
So for all you people who don't want to carry a sandbag, you can carry a hot dog.
It's a great. We are just doing this to make fun of people who
Mostly.
don't feel like they're tough enough to carry the sandbag.
Which is fine.
It's good, and mostly it's a way for people to contribute to this race and have a good experience, and also contribute to the proceeds that are going to go to the Equal Justice Initiative, without having to do the like superhuman feat of carrying a sandbag that far through that terrain.
Right. But yeah, those are all the races that we have coming up. And I mean, again, we're slow growing. Adam and I can come up with these ideas every day.
That. Like we have so many
with an
ideas.
instant.
But it's more about the logistics and the planning that takes some time to.
And you know,
incorporate.
I'm working full time. Adam's working on his stuff as well.
Yeah.
So, but ideally, like we'd hope to take this full time in the future.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we've got some big dreams.
Big dreams
and big booties.
plans. And big booties, because we've been working hard in those mountains.
Yes, sir.
Heard.
Well, dude, is that?
I think that's pretty much everything. That's our podcast. That's the origin story
of Radical Races.
Of Radical Races.
And the near-death race.
Yeah.
Coming at you, May 21st, 2022.
Be there.
Or be pi.
Pi.
3.14.
That's right.
That's geometry. You create the symbol like this.
Yeah.
Adam and I said at the beginning of this podcast that we would not be able to end it.
I suggest we end it right now.